So listen, I had this bright idea to come film this video outside today because it's a gorgeous day in February, like super warm. And I got all my stuff together. These are my microphones, like all the things, and I forgot the cord. I forgot the cord to hook the mic to the camera. And I'm afraid the camera audio isn't good enough, so we're gonna double record it in my phone. So, you know, this is what we're doing. But I want to talk about something that comes up all the time, and that is people coming in my comments and being like, oh my gosh, I am not growing on YouTube. What am I doing wrong? And it's so easy to have that thought. Like, it's so easy to be like, okay, I'm not growing on this platform. What am I supposed to do? What am I doing wrong? What is everybody else doing that I'm not doing? Like, why are other people who've started after me growing faster than I am? Like, what is the problem? And trust me, I felt that way too. I sometimes still feel that way. But honestly, I have some answers for you. Like, if you're not growing on YouTube and you're like, what am I doing wrong? We're going to talk about 3 things that I want you to look at that you're probably doing wrong. Hey, howdy, hey, y'all. What is up? My name's Jessica. I'm pumped that you're here. This is not my normal, recording space or thing, but we're going to work with it. It's also super windy, so hopefully we're getting some decent audio. We'll see. So it's kind of funny that I'm having to use my phone to record the audio because all my notes are also on my phone. So this is just like a disaster, but it's okay. We'll get there. Here's the first thing I need you to know. And this is not like one of the 3 tips, but here's something I need you to know. Okay. If you're not growing on YouTube like you think you should, or whatever the scenario is, I need you to release the thought that it's an external source, that the algorithm is bullying you, that, for whatever reason, the algorithm hates you. It's absolutely not true. There are tons and tons and tons and tons of people on this platform growing really good channels, doing a really good job on the platform with different ethnicities, different backgrounds, different socioeconomical statuses, different accents, different equipment, like all the things. If you are not growing on this platform, it is because of something you are doing. It's not because of some external factor that sets you up to be less likely to grow. And I can promise you that. And you can even go and look and see examples of that yourself. Like, if you think oh, it's my accent, go and find somebody who has the same one. I promise you can find them that's doing a good job. If you think it's because of where you live or the fact that you are using your phone versus a really fancy camera, go and find somebody using their phone. Guaranteed that's not the case. So I kind of just want you to understand that it's something you're doing. It is likely something you are doing. It's likely a you problem and not a them problem. By the way, before I get into these tips, I am hosting a super secret, super free, super jam-packed podcast that is a private podcast just for the people who sign up. You cannot find it anywhere else. You have to sign up and get a special link. And this podcast is called Shhh, Secrets to YouTube Success. And I'm going to literally hand you over the secrets to YouTube success. I'm going to literally hand you the keys to YouTube success. We're going to talk about why you're not successful, which is what we're talking about in this video, but I'm going to go into more depth with it. We're going to talk about what's working right now, what's not working, all the things. And it's just for those of you who sign up for this secret podcast feed. So I want you to head over to heyjessica.com/shh, which is just SHH. So heyjessica.com/SHH, and you can sign up to be a part of that secret podcast because I am dropping episodes every week in the month of March, and you've got to sign up to take part in it. So it's heyjessica.com/SHH. First thing, if you are not growing and you're wondering why am I not growing versus somebody else? Why, I'm doing everything I think I should be doing and I'm not growing. I want you to be real with yourself. Odds are you are not doing everything you could be doing. I've done a whole podcast episode about this where I'm like, hey, listen, you're probably not doing everything you could be doing. And basically the premise here is that we get in our own heads. We can't see things the same way other people can when we're the one inside looking at it. And so a lot of times what'll happen is we will be like, oh my gosh, I learned this about thumbnails and I'm doing that, and yet my videos aren't getting clicked on. Or I learned this about titles and I'm doing that, yet my videos aren't getting clicked on. Or this person told me to do this thing in my video, but every time I do that, it sucks. Or, I'm doing everything this person told me to do, but nothing is working. And most of the time, it's absolutely not true. Most of the time, you're not doing everything you could be doing. Most of the time, you are maybe partially doing what you could be doing, or you think you're doing everything you could be doing, but you're not. or you're not doing it right. So first and foremost, like if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not growing on YouTube and I really want to grow on this platform, I want you to like dig deep a little bit, you know, and be like, am I doing everything I could be doing? Am I following this advice like I think I am? Is it my fault? You know, like, am I not like doing something right? Like what am I doing? And not only like to examine right now, but once you learn some of these other things, you may hear them and be like, but I'm doing that. And I'm here to tell you, you're not doing it. You would be successful. You'd be growing on the platform. So once you hear things, I want you to like take a step back and be like, okay, so maybe I'm not doing that to the best of my abilities. Let me learn more about that thing. Okay, so the second thing I want you to do is to look at the PTT. I just made this up. Okay. The PTT are 3 things: personality, thumbnails, and titles. Okay. So I want you to look at those 3 things. Look at the PTT. And let me kind of explain what I mean here. You have to have a personality that people want to watch on the platform for your channel to be successful. Now, that doesn't mean you need a certain personality. It doesn't mean you need to be like this person or like that person. It just means you need to have a personality. Your personality needs to shine through. I have seen channels with really soft-spoken creators do really well. I've seen channels with like really loud, vibrant creators do really well. I've seen channels where people talk fast or talk slow do really well. You don't have to have a specific personality, but you need to be letting your personality come out in the videos, or people don't feel like they know you, like you, and trust you. Therefore, they're not going to keep coming back. Therefore, they're not going to subscribe. Therefore, your channel's not going to grow, etc. And listen, I was guilty of this too. If you go back and watch my first videos, which please God, don't. But if you did go back and watch my first videos, you would see that I put on corporate Jessica face, okay? And I was just like, hi, I'm Jessica. Today, we're going to talk about X, Y, and Z. X is this, Y is that. And I really didn't bring a lot of my personality into the videos. Obviously, parts of it were there, but like my full personality was not there. I was masking it with this like what I thought should have been the person recording the videos personality, you know? So take a step back and see if you can bring your personality out in your videos a little bit more. That could be something that is missing. That could be a lot of the reason why you're not growing. Like if we compare successful channels to unsuccessful channels, those successful channels have a lot of personality behind them. You know that person. You feel like you know them. And if you met them in real life, you would already feel like you know them. You need that in your channel to grow. So the P of PTT is personality. Let's look at that first. Then you want to look at the titles and the thumbnails. Just say first though, that titles and thumbnails work together to get your videos clicked on, okay? So the whole CTR metric, which is click-through rate, which is basically where, the group of people that saw your video, how many of them, like what percentage of them clicked on your video, that entire metric is thumbnails and titles paired together. Like, that's all, okay? So these 2 things are really freaking important. They each have their own job, but they also work together, okay? And so it could be your titles, it could be your thumbnails, and it could be both. So with your titles, what you really want to focus on is getting your keywords in there, because you definitely need keywords in there to show YouTube what this video is about, but also to be found in search if that's something you want to be found for. But what most people miss is that you also need to put some personality in these titles. It doesn't just need to be like, how to succeed on YouTube. This is why your channel's not growing. Like, there needs to be personality in there. It doesn't need to just be how much I made on YouTube in 2022. It should be YouTube paid me how much? And so the keywords are still there, but now there's personality infused into the title and it's very clickable. And then in addition to that, you've got thumbnails. And your thumbnails also need to make your video clickable. They need to show up in a way where when people see that thumbnail, especially paired with that title, they are ready to click, okay? And the way you do that is by using your thumbnail as really important real estate, because it is really important real estate, to get people to understand that this is a video for them. I always like to tell people you invoke emotion with your thumbnails. You cause people to be like, oh my gosh, that's how I feel, or oh my gosh, that's how I want to feel, or cause people to kind of say like, what? What's she doing there? And that is what makes a magical thumbnail. But really, it's that thumbnail with that title that make it clickable. So if your title is YouTube paid me how much in 2022, and the face in the thumbnail is like, oh my God, I'm so shocked. That's way better than just being like, in the thumbnail because like that doesn't invoke emotion. And sometimes that means there needs to be text on the screen and sometimes it doesn't. And I go in depth about thumbnail strategy in the new Secret podcast. Again, I'll plug that again here, heyjessica.com/shh. SHH. And I've gone in depth about thumbnails on this channel before. I will link some of those videos below, but you've got to be looking at your thumbnails and your titles and your personality. So the first thing we talked about was like, you're probably not doing everything you should be doing, even if you think you are. And I need you to like understand that. But the second thing here is really understanding that you are probably not doing your thumbnails, your titles, and your personality to the best of your ability or what the platform needs or what your audience needs. Now, the third thing I want you to do if you have a channel and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I was growing faster and I'm not growing faster and I need to know what to do. And I'm definitely going to understand that it's probably a me problem and I'm going to look at my personality, title, and thumbnails. The next thing I want you to do is to seek advice. Now, just by watching this video, you're seeking advice and you're ahead of the game, right? And just by signing up for that secret podcast where I'm literally talking about YouTube strategy the whole month, you are ahead of the game. But seek advice in some way. Buy a course, watch videos, listen to podcasts, hire a mentor, hire somebody one-on-one, buy a strategy session, get a YouTube audit done. So YouTube audits are something that I used to do for a really long time. I have them closed right now just because we had too many of them and it got to be a little crazy. And I had some for a course, for like one of my course launches that kind of fell through the cracks. And I realized that like it was because the other ones were kind of like, I wanted to put my course people in front of anybody else, right? But YouTube audits are one of my favorite things to do. And they are a great way to seek advice for a minimal cost. So I charged $149 for my YouTube audits. And basically what that meant is I went through your channel and told you what you could do better. Thumbnails, titles, tags, the channel as a whole, the content, the videos. Like I broke it down and told you what you could do better. And that is a great way to seek advice. Actually, you know what? By the time this goes, I'll just open those back up. Okay? So there's a link always in my description for them. So I'll make sure they're open back up if y'all want one. But essentially, seek advice. Like there are people out there who can help you, will help you, want to help you, have resources to help you, like myself, that if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so stuck on what to do next with my channel, I'm not growing, blah, 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 that is a great place to start and like have some really good advice from an expert who has been in it for a while. Now, there's actually a few other things that if your channel isn't growing, I want to talk about, but I wrapped those up in an episode in the Secret podcast. So if you want to hear more, make sure you sign up to heyjessica.com/SHH, heyjessica.com/shh. I'll put it on the screen here. We get started March 6th with the first episode, and there are episodes all month. There are regular episodes every Tuesday, but there are also bonus episodes throughout the month too. And it's going to be a month long of like learning all the things about YouTube. And this is for people who have started, who have not started, like all the things. And again, I have a whole episode on that podcast about what you should do if your channel isn't growing. And I expand on a lot of these things we talked about today. Also, there's 2 more tips at the end. So head over to heyjessica.com/shh and sign up for that. And I'm going to quit being an awkward duck filming at a park where people are like really confused as to what I'm doing. Like the looks I'm getting, y'all. All right, I'll see you inside that secret podcast. Bye, y'all. Some dude is like staring at me and I want to be like, you know what, dude, you're fishing in really cold weather. Don't look at me like that.